I was just treating a patient, and afterwards we were talking about some exercises that would be good for them to do. And whoever they are, whatever their issue is, there's one really important thing that I want everybody watching this to think about in terms of what we do in our everyday lives and how we can help to counterbalance that in a good, nice, positive way. Everything we do is in front of us. It's in front of us. We're working at a desk. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing this. We're bending over. We're hunching. We're reading. Everything we're doing, we're not doing stuff behind us, for the most part. Is in front of us, right? And so it's no surprise that a lot of these muscular imbalances involve overly tight pecs in the front, right? Overly tight iliopsoas, who we're always hunched over, and things of that nature. And so what does that mean? Well, a simple thing that you can do to feel better, even if you have a wide range of problems, you don't even know the cause to them. And this is, I'm not diagnosing anybody with anything. See a doctor, you have serious issues, but whatever, with all the disclaimers. Strengthen your posterior chain. Work out what's behind you. Work out what's in the back. The glutes. Down through the back of the legs, the low back. Work your back between the shoulder blades. Things that are going to hold you like this. Up tall. Things that'll keep those shoulder blades back. What types of things keep you in good posture all the time, take some stress off of your nerves, keep your spine in a nice healthy position all the time, right? So that you're less likely to suffer dysfunction and injury later in life. Got that little bastard, right? So, what are some stuff that we can do for the back? 100 million things. Let's kind of start from the top and then we'll go down. So something high would be like putting cables here, right? You have the two cables. You grab one. I like to just grab around the ball of the cable. I don't even put a handle on it. Grab one, grab the other, step back, pull them at this angle to failure. Okay? Lower the links. One, grab, step back to failure. Lower in one, grab to failure. Lower, grab to failure. Lower, grab, and so on. Okay? You're working all different angles, hitting posterior portions of your shoulder, upper back. Lat pull downs. We all know lat pull downs are great, right? For your lats. It's in the name. Biceps are a secondary mover, of course. But, your back in general, right? Now, a great thing you can do with a lat pull down is have them up here, and we've said this at When Wellness before, and just shrug your shoulder blades down and in. Shrug them down and in. Hit those mid-lower trapezii, all right? And then, we don't forget about things like the rhomboids with a general row. Really, any sort of pulling motion is back, right? So, we're working kind of from top down. You have face pulls, right? Where you take the rope and you really a good way to do them would be to go like this, kind of externally rotate. It's almost more doing that than it is this, kind of coming like that. And keep your arms high. It makes it a lot harder. You will feel it. You will really feel it in your traps there. That's a great exercise. So that's one of many. And another one is just a straight row. You can row like this. You can lay on a bench, chest against it, right? And you can pull the dumbbells, put your feet out. Both would be. I'd fall if I did it. And row like that. Row kind of more straight up. Reverse flies in that position, right? All sorts of stuff like that. When it comes to kind of lower back, there are a few really good ones. We all know the deadlift, right? A conventional deadlift. And what do you want to make sure with the deadlift? You want to make sure the weight is under your body, right? You don't want to be lunging forward. That's how you hurt your back. That's not what we want, obviously. So, what you're going to do with that is, if you want a wide stance, that's what I like to do. I have the bar here. My shins are pretty much almost touching it, right? So you don't come like this. You keep the back nice and high. You come down. The weight's right under you. Right under you. I'll rip my pants if I go any lower than this. And come up, right? It's right under you. Right under you. Important principle of the deadlift if you're going to try those, right? You can do single leg. You can do all sorts of stuff with dumbbells. But aside from that, really often neglected exercise is the reverse hyperextension, right? Where you lay on that bench for your low back, right? And you know your legs are against the pads, right? And you go and you're coming back like that. Now that's a basic thing. So my legs again would be out here, and I'm going in the motion where I'm coming back. We talked about it a few times here at When Wellness. You could also do where you hold two light weights. Guys, even if you're strong guys, you could take 10-pound dumbbells for this. It'll be tough. Bodybuilders could use something like that. Keep it here at neutral, meaning with your arms. When you get to a point of tension, externally rotate to one side, rotate to the other side. Great, right? Do one where you come up. When your point of tension, reach out like Superman, reach back, reach out like Superman, I should say, so you can see me. Reach back. When you're at a point of tension like here, it's hard to do that kind of stuff. So you can do the same thing. You can do a reverse, right? So you can put your chest on even a table and do this, right? And so if this table was a little higher, it would be nice. But the principle is you're on it, and your legs are what's moving. Your legs are what's moving up, right? So you do it on like a dining room table or something like that. Make sure the table doesn't fall over first though. Who told you to do it? My chiropractor, my table fella. It's an inside job. He's trying to get me back in there 80 times a week. No, you go, perpendicular on the table. Make sure you have a good grip if you're going to do it. It'd be nice if you had somebody you can hold on or something was weighing it down. And then lift your legs. Two at once. I don't want to hit the ceiling or fall. But, you get what I'm saying, right? So it's extension. All these things are forms of extension and flexion in the back, right? But it's all, loosening the front while it's strengthening the back. And without talking about any anatomy, that's not what this is about. I'm not here to just lecture on how to exactly hit the teres minor and how to exactly hit the rhomboids and in the middle and lower trapeze. Just know that it's a good idea to work out what's in the back. Okay? That's just a good idea because we don't do that all day with the things we do naturally in 90% of our lives or more, right? That's just how it is in society. So do that, and we got deadlifts, low back extensions. You can lay on the ground, right? So if I was laying on the ground here, and then hands off, legs off. I'm on my stomach. Hands off, legs off. My arms are straight, right? I'll show you like at this weird angle right here. Let's see. Kind of like this, right? Where you're off. And see if you can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and so on. You can do it here. 1, 2, out to the side. Try progressive holds with it and see how high you can get. If you're somebody who's strong, your bread and butter is really doing a lot of this stuff weighted. Now when it comes to the reverse extension machine, that bench, that's something that doesn't take a lot of weight to really kill you, right? So you don't necessarily need to have heavy weight, but if you're somebody who's strong, you're doing, these rows and you're focusing on the weighted stuff, and that's great. Do something like that at the end of the workout. You don't really have to start with that. We also did a video on don't waste it on the warm-up, right? Don't tire out the muscles that you're about to use with powerful movements if you're going to go through powerful movements with, silly little things that with body weight, right? But albeit you always want to switch it up as well, so maybe sometimes you'll just do a lot of that stuff, high reps and whatever, burn it out. But that's a good general rule to follow. But that's the principle. So that was the first thing I said, right? Was think of what's behind you, okay? In the back of you rather. It's on you. So work your posterior chain out from top to bottom. 2, which really should be 1. Is work your core out. I didn't say this first because we have said this at When Wellness, but weighted core is extremely underrated and incredibly impactful in improving not only exercise performance, but improving your posture, improving your quality of life. Your abs will look better, they'll feel better. Just after that, right? Weighted core is really big for making the muscles pop out, but it's going to make you feel sturdy. I mean, you're just, man, you're walking around and you feel like you couldn't be moved, you know, and you don't have any pain in your low back because these are picking up any slack that they need to. You know, it's so important to have a strong core. And the core isn't just in the front, core is your low back too. So that's why I mentioned that for the principle of everything behind it. But weighted core is really important. How do I do that? Right? So weighted V-ups are great. All right, so let's move this. How you guys doing? Having a good night or what? All right. So this is the first one. It's probably my personal favorite. The weighted V-up, and I've showed you guys this 400,000, 1,828 times, but we'll show you 14,829 times. You come like this. You have a dumbbell on your feet, one in your hands. You're going to come up and reach, okay? You're like this, come up. This reach is an important motion, okay? You can do variations. You can make the weight lighter, have a weight in your hand you're holding each side of, or you can hold it stacked, whatever you like. I like holding each side. And you just move the legs. Just move the legs. Now, before I get into any more core stuff, I'll do all the core stuff. That, suitcase crunches, you're clamping a weight, you're coming up. And by the way, in the V-up, don't let your weight touch the ground here or here in your feet at the bottom. Make sure it stays off the ground. It doesn't touch. Keep the tension, right? So you got that. You got the variations of a suitcase crunch. You could also take a medicine ball, take it off, put it back on. Take it off, put it back on. You could do that. You could do a hip rock, we call it, where you just rock them off. Rock them up like that. Up like that. And you can hold a weight here, anchored. Don't let your legs up here. Make it easier. Keep them as anchors, your feet. Clamp that weight. And when you come up, come down nice and slow. When you tap the ground, you come up. I feel it doing it without any weight even, right? So a lot of you may not even need weight for these things, and you see a lot of benefit. But, you know, weighted core is a great thing, especially if you've done a lot of ab exercises, you're more advanced, right? So we have those, and weighted planks, of course, are amazing. I don't need to show you how to do a weighted plank, right? But, you know, strengthening the core, strengthening your posterior chain, strengthening your back muscles, and your core, I mean, that will go so far for you, I promise. And you know, most of us guys, especially, we go in there and we'll just lay on the bench, you know, and we're, you know, doing benching and chest and tries, and you know, and it's just, you know, it's good to not neglect anything. But if you were going to focus on a few specific things for general health, also aerobic exercise, of course, right? You know, in terms of strength training, those would be some really big ones, right? Would be the core in that. So I'm thinking if there's anything else that I want to talk about in terms of core. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I knew something on the forefront of my mind. So what would be something that somebody with a herniated disc would not want to do? Somebody that had a blown disc would not want to do anything in flexion. So everything I just showed you pretty much for core, weighted core, if you have disc issues, you probably want to stay off of, right? You know, at least a plank would be a much better option, but isometric stuff, right, for core. But, you know, leg raises, V-ups, anything that puts you in flexion, you wouldn't want to be doing, right? And so if that person followed the general rule, if I want to do things that are extension, it would bode well for them too, right? Without even targeting them in the beginning here. But you know why? Kind of when we do flexion, is it the aggravated disc? But you know, all these tests for herniated disc, where you lay on your back and they lift the leg up, or you know, the straight leg raiser. So the doc will lift it up, see if there's pain. If you have a herniated disc, typically someone will slumps test. You slump forward, do that. All these things, they are tightening the core, right? The dentate ligament, Hoffman's ligament, surrounds the spinal cord, right? So and all the musculature around it, you know. So they're tight, but they're tightening the ligament, they're tractioning the cord is the big thing. And so if you're like this is the most tractioned. Everything is just taut. The slack's taken out. And so if there's a disc bulging back or herniated, torn partially, and it's pressing back, It's going to be pressing on the nerves. It's going to be pressing on the cord, and you're going to really feel that. So that's why somebody who has herniations, typically, at least in the beginning, you would like to be doing more extension, like Mackenzie type exercises. You can look them up if you want to see some more. That's what we got for you guys today. I enjoy this. That was fun. Even though it's late, it's never too late, and I'm happy that I get to hang out with you guys every day. And I'm also happy that I know Rhonda, because she's a damn good time. How you doing, Rhonda? Happy birthday. I know you're doing great because I saw you 20 minutes ago. Feels like 20 minutes. It's actually been like an hour because I was with this patient forever. But it's great to see you. It's great to hang out with you. Rhonda is really cool. Not only just fun, you're always up. I like that, Rhonda. You're always up. The cup's always half full with you, and I think that's great. I know that enthusiasm for life and a love for it is something that will never leave you, I hope, and I think if it hasn't yet, at 50 years old, I probably won't. So that's fantastic. You're 50 years young. We were talking today, and you said, people tell me, hope you don't mind me saying it, but you're young. Like I'm like a 19-year-old at heart. Obviously, nothing mind me, but you were like, I feel like that. I'm acting like that. I'm like, me too, man. And it's just such a great feeling to just still have fun every day. Even though we do all this serious shit, right? To just have fun, to feel like a kid at heart, and I'm really proud of you and happy for you. That's who you are and that's how you feel. If you play poker with Rhonda, she's very aggressive. So there's a warning. Anybody who plays poker with Rhonda, she buys in, she's going to be all in within the first 5 hands. That's a guarantee, okay? And she's probably going to take all your money while she does it. And it's just like, man, you're a real threat on the poker table, Rhonda. And listen, I'm going to really tread carefully the next time we're playing. But I'm going to catch you. I'm going to get something good. I'm going to sit back, hold on, wait for you to pop it, and I'm going to take all the money. Realistically, what's going to happen is I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get beat on the river, and you're going to take all my money. I love you, Rhonda. You're a really cool person, and I hope you have a fantastic year this year. I hope you make it better than last year was, and I know that I'll know you for it. So we'll share some of it together. Happy birthday! It's your day in the book of Wellness. So this one's for you. Who is on here today? Hello, friends. Richie, POK, Johnny, Angelo, what's up? Skin and Body, Can't Shake the Feeling, Z-Train, LIRJE, Quinns Jr., Bull City, Preston, what's up, you guys? Tone T. Pava, OJB Guy, you got it. My pleasure, my friend. What up, Lexer, Lexi, and Woody? You said that because you're hey. Lexer, Lexi, and Woody. Carvale, Ryan. What's up, guys? NP Panico. Tyler, what's up? Imbalance of the SI. It depends how it is. It depends how it is imbalanced. I would focus on core and low back stuff. That's what I would probably do. Strengthening the glutes can't hurt too, but also having ART done and getting adjustments is probably the best thing that you could do while we're sleepy for imbalance of the SI joint. For example, when I check somebody, I'll check their foot length, and then I'll go do some stress checks. And I'll see is the sacrum posterior inferior to the ilium? Is it anterior superior? For example, is it rotated a certain way? Is it a P-R? Posterior and right hasn't moved, or left and bop. So I would say that's important. I would say another thing to consider is to see a chiropractor, that is, and get adjusted. Hopefully it's me if you're in the area. I'll take good care of you, I promise. And get to the root of the problem, which is what's important. But pay attention to your gait I wouldn't pay attention to your gait and your foot length. If you're looking at an imbalance in your pelvis that's consistent, I want you to think of the domino effect, okay? So now, what happens if I'm walking a certain way and my leg is short and my toe is pointed out like this, the tibia is going to rotate. Internally, the femur. Externally, the hip rotators are going to be tight. My QL is going to be really tight on this side. Where does the QL go? From the surface of the ilium up to the bottom of the 12th rib and to the lumbar vertebra. So now that's pulling on the ilium. And maybe it's pulling the pelvis in a certain way. Many ways that it could be affected from basic biomechanics is something that should be corrected. I would definitely look at that. I would see a chiropractor as probably your best bet, to be honest with you. But I'm telling you, types of things that we would look at, I would, to see what was up. I hope that's helpful. Is it not? I hope it's helpful. So, Tyler, Yuzil Zalaya, Benade, how you doing? Miranda, 40 plus fitness journey. Hi, Paul. Frozen, 8. What is that? Das, what's up? Bath. Jay Castillo. Jesus Garcia, Wolf Muscle, Mag, what's up? How you doing? Amarisol. And first one of the day, Randy Z. 707. Thank you, my friend, for being on here, for supporting When Wellness, and for supporting yourself. So, happy today as well for you. Appreciate you. Yes, kinetic chain, yes. Yes, you got it. Yeah, core, again, I'll tell you something. If we're on this kind of subject, I had somebody the other day tell me that I have been training for a while, that I think it's just been like 3 months. They had been going to the doctor for so long, and they want to put them on all these medications. They were on medications for, high cholesterol. They had high AST, ALT. Those are markers of liver function for the most part. Also could be markers of muscle damage and things of that nature, but majorly liver function. And levels of creatinine were high, and all sorts of things are wrong. High triglycerides, low HDL, high LDL, right? And so, we've been exercising, and I gave her a diet plan, just a general, and diet's a terrible word there. Lifestyle modification, just how to eat, right? And lists of things, big do's and don'ts, simple principles, things that work, and are natural, of course, always at When Wellness. And she got blood work done recently, and I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up. And all her levels were fantastic, right? She said she was afraid to go back to the doctor. She didn't want to be on medication. All the levels are fantastic. The LDL was down, the HDL was way up. She's in like the high quartile of health. It's just really awesome to see the AST, the ALT, back to normal, creatinine, everything from exercise and nutrition. And so my whole point is here, when we're referencing something like the SI joint, and you're referencing, a lot of biomechanical issues that people have, I like to approach things as let's correct everything. Let's try and correct everything. Let's tell you how to just be healthier and how to have less problems in the future, and correct everything that we can so that, maybe we fix things we didn't even know were wrong with us. They come in for their neck, and before you know it, I'm seeing something with their low back, and then we start working their low back, and they're like, wow, that feels a lot better. I wasn't even thinking about that. Who knows, right? But, and it's not attributed to myself. It's all attributed to the person in their own body. I'm just telling them how to optimize it. That's it. But it should be a big full circle thing. It shouldn't be just the adjustment. I'm a chiropractor. It's not just the adjustment. You don't just come in and get adjusted. And even though we're checking and we're finding specific subluxations, misalignments of the vertebra, impinging on the nerve, it's not the only thing you need. It's full circle. It's nutrition, and it's lifestyle, and it's health, and it's making sure you're getting enough sleep, and it's making sure that you're not stressed and that you're happy, and experiencing things like love, and just enjoying life, and it's all full circle. So when you seem to correct things on a wider, grander scale, like I said, improve your core strength. You don't even know how your core strength is related to your pelvis. But then you're taking the load off of other muscles that would be working in your low back, and they're pulling on it. And we're not even thinking like that. We all tend to go right to that problem, and we look at that thing, and we say, I'm just going to look at this and fix this. Okay? But if you play a game of chess like that, and you keep looking at just one little thing, he took my pawn, I gotta get that pawn back. Look at the big picture. It's checkmate. You could sacrifice pieces left and right. You could do all sorts of things you never even thought would have made sense. You just do things that are generally good, that bode well, and you find yourself in a good position later. The body is the same in that regard. You treat it with respect. You put things that are natural into it. You exercise, you sleep, you're not stressed, all these good things, and you'll see good results. But what I was talking about today was some of the more important things specifically to exercise in terms of a lot of the problems that people have. And that's your core and your back, right? So, I hope that's helpful. That's why I'm really driving that home, always sleeping. That's, look at a single thing like that. Yeah. Scoob, what's up? Holly, how you doing? Yeah. Oh, it's my pleasure. Valerie. Yeah, holistic. And, also requiring hard work and discipline, on top of it. Duranta Spencer, there are certain people I would recommend. I try to avoid surgery as much as I can, but I still have patients that I recommend get it because it's the best thing for them. So it's not always totally holistic, but most of the time it goes a really long way. You guys have a fantastic rest of your night. That's all we got for you. We'll see you tomorrow. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then, baby. Have a great one. Thanks a lot. Happy wellness. Ciao. Allison, what's up? And honey, see you later.